Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
There we are.
Here we are.
We're live.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes. How's everybody doing? Chesba's already saying good morning.
Good morning, Chaz Biz. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Getting
As
up
is
in the chat.
Yeah. Chat is active. Welcome to Trekcast, everybody. The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast, allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's right. There's been a lot of allegedlys in the news today.
Yeah.
Or this last week. So
Yeah. Tell us what we're doing here, Daniel.
Yeah, so we're doing a full show because kind of a lot going on. Our main topic is going to be Skydance Media has put in a full bid to purchase Paramount, and that could mean a lot for Star Trek. So we'll give you a little bit about what's going on there. We're going to talk a little bit about who Skydance Media is. You may not know the name, but for sure you've seen some of their movies. And then we will also talk about what we think that can mean for Star Trek. But before we get going, how's your week been, man?
Doing good. I'm glad we can do these supplementals. Something to look forward to at the end of the week. I'm sure everybody appreciates that listens to the podcast whenever we can. When we're on this every other week schedule, whenever we can get an episode in. So I like
it's
doing
fun
that.
to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we should probably get to the news. We got some Star Trek news. So
Let's do it.
Let's get there.
Star Trek news.
All right. So our first news story, it's kind of sad. For those of you who have not heard yet, according to StarTrek.com, Star Trek actor Gary Graham has passed away. He was Saval in Star Trek Enterprise. He was the ambassador. He passed away on the 22nd, 73 years old. We do not know the cause of death right now. But yeah, he passed away. He was very integral to the Enterprise show. And it's sad, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he was a big part of Enterprise. He was there kind of from the beginning in Star Trek Enterprise. He played, like you said, he played the Vulcan ambassador, who at first was very much against Starfleet and their mission to kind of spread their wings and go out further. And then towards the end, he was very much an ally of Archer and the Enterprise crew. Brought a really good. He did. I think he brought a lot to that character, and he will be missed.
He was also he was in that show Alienation, that movie.
Yeah. A lot of anybody that's our age or maybe younger probably doesn't even know what that show was, and I had to look it up a little bit. But can you kind of help me refresh everybody's memory about? Did you ever watch that show?
So I, vaguely, like I have vague memories of it. I know Dan has mentioned it before. Yeah,
from what I understand, and again, I never watched the show. I just read a little tiny bit about it. Basically, humankind's integration of aliens into their culture, and really sort of focused on the relationship between his character and somebody from the other planet. I don't know hardly anything about this.
Yeah, there he is. Up in the top right.
Yeah, and in this show, these two played like law enforcement officers of some kind, didn't they? I don't know a lot about.
Yeah. It was a cop show, kind of like a sci-fi cop show.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, it's sad that he's gone. But that's where we're at. Next news story comes to us from Deadline.com, and Star Trek icon Jonathan Frakes is set to direct a new TV show that is not Star Trek related. He is going to be he's signed on to direct the TV adaptation of Deathlands, which is a novel series and it will novel series that was created by, I guess, a crypto pioneer, some like Bitcoin pioneer guy.
Okay.
Jeff Garzik. I don't know a lot about crypto, so I don't know who this guy is. But
neither do I. I've never heard the name before, but
yeah, but I guess Deathlands is a pretty big book series. The show is expected to be a 10-part. It's a 10-part novel series, so we don't know how many episodes the show will be. But Jonathan Frakes is on board to direct them.
Well, he's a smart guy. He's obviously good behind the camera.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of projects under his belt.
Yeah.
Even non-Star Trek projects. So
yeah,
look forward to that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I couldn't find much about Deathlands. So, and then also speaking of Jonathan Frakes from trekmovie.com, apparently Jonathan Frakes did a Reddit AMA earlier this week.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the Riker maneuver. So somebody said, who came up with the Riker maneuver? To which you responded, that happened by chance. When we first used 10 forward, the chairs were low enough to step in. And frankly, it was kind of an asshole move. I'm glad it found life as a meme.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I thought that was pretty hilarious. So
yeah,
Riker maneuver, officially an asshole move.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now that's got to be a little bit of satire because I've heard a couple different stories over the years, but I heard the reason why he does that, the little leg over the chair thing too, is because of a back issue.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but why you couldn't just walk up to a chair and then sit down to it?
Right. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's become such part of Star Trek lore that they made fun of it in the crossover episode for Lower Decks Strange New Worlds crossover. Yeah, Riker.
Yeah. So
it's a thing. Yeah,
it is definitely a thing. So it's funny. It's whatever, man. It's cool. I kind of like it. It's like the Joker. It has so many possible origins, and who cares?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the news stories. Should we get to the main topic? I guess we're moving along quick.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Fun will now commence.
All right. So our main topic, Deadline is reporting earlier this week that Sundance, or Skydance Media, which is a film studio or film production company kind of, has put in a bid to buy out the controlling stock interest in Paramount Global. It's kind of complicated. So basically a lady named Sherry Redstone has a company called National Amusements. Through that company, she owns the controlling interest of Paramount. It's something like 80% of the voting shares in Paramount. So through all those hoops, Skydance Media is like, okay, we want to buy Paramount. So that's how they would do it.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with everything. We have not heard that a deal is done. This also flies in the face of about a month ago, we were getting reports that Paramount had met with Warner Brothers Discovery to do a merger between those two companies. And then this also flies in the face of months earlier, we had heard that Apple TV was talking about some sort of streaming merger with Paramount. Not necessarily a merger of the companies, but a merger of those two streaming properties into one major streamer.
Right.
So clearly Paramount is looking to make some moves in some way. There is some buzz about what this means for Paramount. Recently, according to Variety, so a couple days later, the Paramount Global CEO basically told the entire staff, get back to work, stop focusing on losing your jobs, because typically when a merger happens, you're going to lose your job. There's going to be layoffs. That tends to be what happens when these mergers happen. Right?
Yeah.
They get rid of redundancies and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just basically, hey, get back to work. stop updating your LinkedIn.
I'm waiting to get the same email from you. So
Yeah. But that sucks. And it makes sense. People are, well, what are we gonna do? What's going on? There's nothing official. We don't know. Are they gonna go with Apple? Are they gonna go with Warner Brothers Discovery? Are they going to go with Skydance?
right.
For those of you wondering, well, who the hell is Skydance? I can give you some of the movies they have done, some of the bigger name movies they have done in the past. They did that True Grit remake that everybody seemed to love. They also did World War Z. Some other films they have done is they did the Jack Reacher films and the Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. They've also done a few, I would say, less than stellar films like Baywatch or G.I. Joe Retaliation or Snake Eyes.
What? You didn't love Baywatch? Come on.
No, man. They do have experience with Star Trek too, though. They brought us Star Trek Beyond and Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yep.
So that would be who ends up controlling Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another question that I think a lot of people are asking is, how is this going to affect Star Trek? I think that's the biggest question that, a lot of people are asking.
At least in our groups, right?
In our group. Yeah. People that listen to this podcast are asking that. And, they've already set a precedent because what Paramount could do is they could license out, and we've talked about this before, and this is kind of our fear, is they could license out different franchises, new Trek, old Trek, new movies, old movies, new upcoming movies, and they could all go to different, and they've already done this with Prodigy. They made Prodigy, and then now they licensed it with Netflix.
Right.
And, and Netflix obviously has a ton more subscribers. I just looked up Paramount Plus currently, as of last year, has 63.4 million subscribers. I think Netflix had something like 6 times that. Many, like hundreds of millions of subscribers, and so there's a lot of money to be made. But the problem with that is, where do you find it? Do I have to have do I have to have Netflix to watch Prodigy and Paramount Plus to watch Strange New Worlds and HBO to watch the movies? Which right now that's the case.
Yeah.
So do I have to have are they going to sell off Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager now to another streaming platform?
Right. And that could be very, very possible. We don't really know. I did see. I don't know if you know who Robert Meyer Burnett is. He's a film commentator. He's also a former film producer and kind of like a Hollywood insider type kind of guy.
Okay.
He was talking about this potential merger earlier this week, and he seemed to be very, very excited about it. That the CEO of Skydance has been known for finding people who love their properties and putting them in charge.
Oh, okay.
So that could be a good thing. Apparently that's why for Star Trek Beyond, what people, at least most people, seem to think that it's a better movie than
Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
Yeah.
They went and got the director who did have a history of loving that movie and put him in. So, of loving Star Trek. I forget his name. The guy from Fast and the Furious that everyone was like, I don't know about this guy, but
right.
Yeah. So we could see potentially people who actually love it as opposed to people who see it as, I don't know, a money machine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and, speaking of money machine, if we come across this problem of what we just talked about, things going to different streaming services, it is going to be an invitation for piracy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an invitation for password sharing, and it's going to be an invitation for, going and downloading this stuff illegally, and it's going to be, and I'm not advocating that. Whatever you do, if you want to save some money, do not get with your friends and share an account on Paramount Plus.
No.
If you want to see a show that you don't have access to, do not get a VPN and stream it illegally over several different platforms that are available
That's
online.
right.
Do not do that.
No.
Because, like I said, these companies are sending a message of we're going to expand and we're going to make it more difficult for you to watch your favorite, even something encompassing like Star Trek. You can't even watch all of Star Trek in one place. At least with Star Wars, there's one place you can watch all of Star Wars. Everything that Star Wars has ever put out, including the Christmas special, is all in one place. And
That's
now
right.
Star Trek, which is seen by a lot of people as sort of the other side of that sci-fi coin, there is not one place where you can watch Star Trek. So
Andrew over on our Instagram live says he really wishes they would remaster Voyager.
Yeah.
That and DS9 and that would be great. But
those three tent poles, Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager.
That would be great.
So is Next Gen, do they stream Next Gen remastered on Paramount Plus?
I don't think it's remastered.
Okay, because original series, they've done a job of remastering it. They're all the VFX, the visual effects shots are all redone for the most part, and it's kind of a coin flip whether it draws you in or sort of like it pulls you out of the story.
Right.
Sometimes you just see it seamless. Other times it's like that's really obvious. That's not how it was originally shot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They put a filter over it and they take the computer and they do things. And I'm like, I wish that's good. I wish they could do that with some of the acting that William Shatner did, but the computer technology hasn't quite reached that level yet.
Yeah. Also in the Deadline article about Paramount and Skydance, it does say there are plans that if they do merge the companies, there will be layoffs. And so, that could be some of the reasons why staffers are a little bit nervous, because that's coming. That is
I'd be nervous too.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame them for updating their LinkedIn account.
Yeah. Okay, let's say there is a merger, not necessarily between these two companies, but somebody buys out Paramount. What do you want to see out of a new owner for Star Trek? What are you hoping for?
What everybody wants to see, just more and better content and a centralized location to watch it all. I mean, I understand that I can't watch Star Trek and Star Wars on the same platform. There's no reason why I can't watch all of Star Trek on the same platform. So just keep making content. Stop. It's when like YouTubers, I see YouTubers trying to find out how can I make people watch my channel? How can I make people watch my channel? Make better content. Stop worrying about all the fluff and just make better content. So that's what the key is. Keep making good content. And they've done a good job with Star Trek as of late of making good content. Keep that up. Listen to what the people are saying. Listen to the Star Trek fans. They're like, for the most part, they like what's going on. Recent Discovery excluded, but content.
Yeah. I don't know if I want more Star Trek as much as I want focused Star Trek.
Okay.
Like, even if we're only down to one series, right? One, let's say, animated and one live action. Great. But make that the best you can make it, right?
Yeah.
Focus on the storylines, focus on the characters, focus on where you want us to get to. I think that would be great. I think if they're not going to give us Star Trek Legacy, which, there have been reports that even the actors now are saying, well, if the fans want it, I guess it'll happen. Which, what does that mean? Right? Because the fans have been saying it for, a year now? Like, it's, they haven't brought it up. And so, who knows? And Terry Metalis hasn't signed on to do anything else yet. So we don't know.
And like you said before, that should be a sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if Terry Matalas, what you were saying before a few weeks ago, if Terry Matalas has not signed up to do another project, then maybe that means there's a Star Trek project that they're sort of talking about or working on.
Yeah, behind the scenes that we don't know about yet.
Chazbis says they need new leadership.
Indeed. Yeah, I just put that up. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think you could focus it. I don't think you need to keep throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at Star Trek in hopes of, because the franchise itself, honestly, it's not as big as it was 10 years ago.
Right.
Despite everything we've done. I mean, they've had to stop doing the toys. They're not doing all the marketing and merchandise opportunities that they could, right? So there is some sort of disconnect there that needs to be looked at and fixed, right?
Well, I think also when you have a show that's exclusive to a streaming service, you're cutting off a large part of the population.
Right.
Not everybody has Paramount Plus. Okay. And what made Star Trek accessible to everybody in decades past was it was syndicated on over-the-air TV, but also they were putting out movies in the theater. 2009, when Star Trek came out, the J.J. Abrams movie came out, that revitalized the franchise quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people
quite a
who
bit.
had never seen Star Trek went and saw Star Trek because it was in the theater. It was accessible.
Right.
So make it accessible. Maybe take a risk and put another movie out there. And I know there's been talks of one, but don't make it on streaming because not everybody has Paramount Plus.
Right. I'm thinking about so I know that I'm the guy who follows wrestling on this show, but recently the WWE announced they did a big sponsorship or a big broadcast deal with Netflix, and people noticed of their three broadcast deals recently, they're three different buckets, right? They made a deal with CW to broadcast their kind of like development show. They did a deal with USA Network to do SmackDown, and then now starting in 2025, Netflix will be airing Raw. So they have now done it where you can get wrestling anywhere, either over the air, antennas, cable, and streaming, right? So maybe that's kind of a model that maybe Star Trek should look into, right? You can send out your already done shows, right? Your back catalog, if you will. So your DS9s, your Enterprise, and it's going to suck for us fans if they're all on different streamers, right? But that's going to get you more eyes because now you've got more hooks in the water, right? So you send those out as your streaming buckets, right?
Yeah.
You do your new show. Maybe you put it on CBS, or maybe you put it on one of their cable channels, something like that, and then you do the animated show maybe on the cable channel. So at least that way you're reaching out to the broadest possible audience everywhere that they're at, and
people
maybe
have
that's
more options. And more exposure
to find it, right?
Yeah.
So and maybe that's what you do to help grow it.
Yeah, I just it's a combination of what you want and what I want. More Star Trek and better quality Star Trek.
Oh, I don't necessarily want that. I just think if I was a studio head and how do I maximize my potential of gaining an audience, that's where I do it.
Right. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be a nightmare for us trying to I want to watch Voyager. Do I need to go sign up for Hulu now?
If that happens, honestly, physical media.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've got all the movies, every single one of them. Most of them on Blu-ray.
Okay.
I've got. I don't have all the series on physical media.
Do you have Star Trek Caravan of Courage?
I do not.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I do not. I don't even know what that is.
I just merged it with the Ewok movie. Ewok movie's called Caravan of Courage. I feel like I just gave myself a nerd alert.
Warning, warning, nerd alert, nerd alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
I'd like
funny.
a physical copy of the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
So,
Most Comic Cons or conventions, you can find that.
yeah. You have to be careful though, because I heard that George Lucas and Disney Studios they send out who are the Jedi hunters in the new
Oh yeah, the Inquisition or
the Inquisitors. Yeah, they send out
Inquisitors, yeah.
Inquisitors to find everybody who tries to collect those.
Jasmine says he'll watch the Ewok Star Trek crossover.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be
absolutely.
some merchandising.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think I would imagine within 6 to 9 months we will have a buyer for Paramount. They are on those streets trying to sell that studio, and I think within 6 to 9 months we will hear something.
Yeah, you're probably right. If you really if you're really interested in this and you want to get a good gauge of what's going on as far as the strength of, watch their stock and see what the shareholders are saying, because that's going to indicate what direction they're going, and it's going to indicate not only the direction they're going, but where the shareholders will tell you where they want to go.
Right.
Obviously to make money, but if you're a company that owns a substantial holding in one of those companies, you have a voice on what direction you want that to go to. So
Andrew is also saying, I'm not sure what you guys mean that everything isn't on Paramount. I see all the movies and shows on Paramount. So I don't know where he's from. It kind of depends on where in the world you are. What was it? Last month they got rid of all the old classic movies, the TOS movies.
Right.
They went to HBO or Max, and then also Netflix has got Prodigy now. So they have been starting breaking it up, at least in the US, Andrew. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we're at. He also does say that they need a good time travel show. I mean,
sure.
Why not? We've got the time agency, right? That they've kind of alluded to.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you could do something there. That could be fun too. Like if you did it as almost like a anthology show where the agents go back in time and maybe for a season they're in one era of Star Trek, right? So you do
like a like Star Trek temporal investigations.
Yeah. But like maybe one season is TOS, the next season is DS9. Like like
that would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be something neat.
Yep.
It just kind of depends. But
yeah, I would definitely watch that.
Yeah, that's definitely stuff I'd like to see. But yeah, so basically the main topic wise, there's not much more. We are hoping for the best for Star Trek, of course. But we'll kind of see. I'm giving a ballpark of 6 to 9 months. We'll hear something. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
and it's an ever-changing story too. I mean,
yeah,
like you said earlier, a month ago it was this, and 3 months ago it was that. So,
it honestly could be sooner, just because the Super Bowl is going to be streaming on Paramount Plus this year, right? So all eyes are going to be on Paramount, which would make it far more attractive.
Right.
So potentially maybe a few weeks we hear something, or a few days. So we don't know.
Yeah.
But we will definitely keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you guys posted on what happens.
For those of you who don't know, the Super Bowl is a contest.
Yes.
For the National Football League between the AFC and the NFC, and it's to determine who is the world champion between those two conferences in the game of American football. That's the one with the oblong shaped ball.
The NFC, that's the no Funyuns comrade.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
because
I like Funyuns, but not everyone does.
Yeah, I just want to say, go Lions! They're going to the Super Bowl this year.
That's right. Meow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Their battle cries meow.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to listener feedback because we already got people waiting.
Listener feedback.
So with listener feedback, is now time for Chaz Biz to show up. So there he is.
What's up, Chaz Biz?
Hello, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Had to take my AirPod out real quick.
Okay.
I love it anytime you come on, man.
I'm listening to you guys on the phone, and then I have this.
Oh, because the delay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So, what do you think about us merger or sales talk?
Well, if the people want out, then leave.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to add anything to Paramount. So sell it to somebody that actually wants to produce something. You know,
that quote should be sent to the studio execs. If you want out, leave.
Yes, it's like
I like that.
If you're just an investor and you don't care about producing stuff, get out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fair enough.
It's like your production company. Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
You make content. And the other one sounds like just an investor, just, park the money there and hopefully gain something.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any predictions as far as what direction the studio is going to go?
Usually when they merge, they lay off people, and that's the bad thing.
Right.
Because look at Xbox and Activision, they just laid off 1,900 people this week, and Microsoft is the largest company in the world right now.
Yeah,
and are they valued at $3 trillion or something ridiculous right now? So
right.
Yeah,
that's another thing you brought up that a lot of people don't think about. This is affecting real people in a very real way. Their livelihoods. There are people that these 1,900 people are, and from different.
They're not. They're not like, oh, that's the makeup artists and the film set designer and all that. It's people like who work in accounting and shipping and receiving and stuff like that.
And the strikes have killed them too because nobody's working. So you got makeup, costume, all the guys that make the sets. Like a ton of people didn't make money for about 6 months.
Yeah,
and they had to find jobs elsewhere, and it's affected the business. So I don't think anybody really gained during that strike. I think it really hurt. Kind of hurt the industry at the moment. So
plus, we got
and they did the strike at the worst possible time because that was the worst box office year Hollywood's had in years because Disney. They didn't even have $1 billion movie in
the first time in I think 11 years or something like that.
Wow,
because you go back to 2019 you see all their Marvel movies, they all hit
big time. It's been even post-pandemic the box office has really changed, right? It's not what hits and what people come out for is very different, right? Like what is it? Top Gun Maverick. People did not expect it to hit, and it did. It was big.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun movie.
And then there's some great movies. Like personally, I thought the Blue Beetle movie was really good. I didn't think it was like $1 billion movie, but like nobody went to that thing, and it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. So you can't just say, well, we got to make better movies. That's not just it. Like there's an X factor that we haven't quantified.
It's definitely superhero fatigue in the theater.
I don't know if it's that, man. I think it's because like you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that thing did gangbusters, and that's also a superhero movie.
That would have in 2019 that would have made $1 billion, and I think
it was pretty close. It was like 900.
Yeah. But in 2019, that movie would easily surpassed $1 billion. I don't know what's going on with Marvel. I don't know if the TV shows have affected it. I don't know if too many movies in 1 year.
I think Marvel it's lost its specialness in that there's so much of it. So then you don't need to catch up with all of it. And then there's also a lot of like loose thread plot lines. Like you got that Eternal sitting in the middle of the ocean that we haven't talked about since, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
About them.
Yeah, or what's his name was introduced to the Black Sword, and what happened to that? Harry Styles showed up, and it's supposed to be Thanos' brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, all these things that are like, are we ever going to talk about that again?
Yeah, some really bad CG character at the end.
Do you think that maybe the studios, say, Paramount or whoever produces Star Trek at the time, are looking at some of these franchises, and they're a little wary about making more of the same thing? They see the Marvel universe sort of, at least in my eyes, sort of declining a little bit. Star Wars,
it's like
sort of declining a little bit.
I think it's a couple different things. I think the budgets of movies is far too large. Yeah. It's far too large.
Well, She-Hulk was $225 million for She-Hulk.
At least there's estimates that it went up to 300.
What was
She-Hulk, the TV show?
Oh,
that had the bad CG.
Yeah.
Awful CG of She-Hulk was $300 million.
And that was a fun show for 8 episodes.
Right.
It wasn't $250 million fun.
Right.
Yeah. $300 million. That thing should be crisp.
Yeah. They need to figure out ways to cut the costs of these productions. Part of the other thing, though, to think about is, you would mention like, oh, maybe Marvel, the studios think their franchises are too overused, right? The problem with that is, if you're going to go sink in hundreds of millions of dollars, are you going to put that bet on something with no history, no legacy, or something that, look, 75% of the films make money, we have merchandising rights, if we don't make money, it has a history of a fan base of this large, you're going to put your money more secure, allegedly, right? With what looks better, right? You're not going to just gamble it away. So, like, right. I get it.
You're right.
I get it. Because the other thing, too, is you have to think about studio heads do not look at these like a great treasure like we look at it as fans. It is, to them, it is, well, we made a Star Wars movie and they didn't come. Not.
Yeah.
And that's why we haven't seen a Star Wars movie.
Right.
Since 2019.
Well, they're not coming to Star Wars anymore. Well, no, you made a crappy one. And
yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. So.
And, it's been, they keep on announcing Star Wars movies, but they all get scrapped.
Right. Right.
I don't even know how many has been scrapped. Like, directors been hired.
We allegedly have 4 Star Trek movies in the pipeline right now.
Yeah.
Will we see any of them?
No.
We'll probably see 31, allegedly. I mean, that's supposed to start filming any day now, if it hasn't already.
The only way I'll believe it is when it goes into production. They hire like the cast and crew and start filming.
I honestly won't believe it until it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, they have a Halle Berry movie on Netflix filmed, and they just canned it. I mean, they filmed the whole movie, and they're like, "Nah, that looks too bad." So they just
pretty much way back, girl.
That Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse remake. That him and the director were like, this needs to go to theaters, and Prime said no. Amazon Prime is like, no, we're gonna just put it on Prime. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the trailer. It looks like it should be in theaters to me.
It looked decent.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the best movie ever, but it looks fun.
Well, they could.
Roadhouse was the best movie ever, the original, but everybody loved it.
Yeah. Right now, there's no competition.
What do you mean by that?
Like in the theaters, because there's nothing out. Like January,
there's a lot
February,
of movies out right now. Yeah,
not good movies right now. Because you're still playing Wonka from December. You're still playing,
Yeah, I do kind of see Chad's business point, because I can't think of anything in the theater right now that I want to watch. That might be a marketing thing, because
that's part of it.
Yeah, because I haven't been bombarded with anything that I'm like, oh, I've seen a commercial for that, I want to go see it in the theaters. And that's another, we were just talking about Roadhouse. I hear about a movie, and then there's confusion for me. Is this out already? Is it in the theaters? Is it coming out? Is it something that came out a year ago? Who knows?
Right.
We'll just throw it out in the theater. Who cares?
Well, like I just saw a movie last weekend. I saw ISS, the International Space Station.
How was that one?
It was really good.
Okay,
really?
I'm gonna
it was really, really good.
And how do you see that?
You have to go to the theaters to see it.
That was in the movie theater. Okay,
it was in the movie theaters. Yeah,
I probably see 100 movies in the theater a year. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I've seen probably 2 movies a week. So
Yeah.
and usually I'll watch an old movie and I'll watch a new movie. Last week I watched Galaxy Quest.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
And
I have
that theater was packed. And it
was
in
it
the
really?
big theater.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
Do you have like one of those movie pass things?
No, I don't. But I go on
Okay.
cheap night.
Oh, okay.
Because they have cheap nights on Tuesday, Wednesdays sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
Very
like
cool.
for $6 a person, and then I have a refillable cup, so that's $2.
Oh, nice.
So $12 or $14.
Yeah.
So maybe for 2 of us.
There you
cool.
go. I have
you sneak in your candy. So don't tell anybody.
we have Regal movie theaters where I live, and they've got for I think it's like $23 a month. You get an unlimited card, and you can go to the movies as much as you want.
Yeah.
So so that's what I do. I just have one of those.
I float probably about 5 different theater chains. So
okay.
Because I like I have all the apps on my phone. I look.
Nice.
See what's out there, and saw the Color Purple last week. Saw.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
That's the musical one, not the Spielberg one, but it was
yeah.
good.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
Liked it.
Yeah. I just watched Mission Impossible.
Dead Reckoning.
Yeah. That was good.
See, that's a Paramount movie right there.
Yep. I watched it on Paramount Plus.
And
it just came out a couple days ago on Paramount Plus.
Was it 2018 when it came out, or 2019? I'm trying to think.
That's also a Skydance movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie. But I think I heard because it said part 1 and people didn't see it or what? Because they were banking on that movie last year, and it underperformed.
I don't know if that's what hurt it. It might be that it's like the 8th one or 7th one.
But it was good. It was actually
there were several problems with one. Dead Reckoning is the one where a couple years it was supposed to originally come out in I think 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then COVID stuff, but that was the one where Tom Cruise made the news for having those like expletive laden rants on set about not following COVID procedure.
Protocols.
Yeah.
And several crew members quit over it because they're like, Tom Cruise is crazy, and I'm sure that Tom Cruise is absolutely.
Yeah, but the general consensus was like he was right.
The heat of it,
right. There were some A-list actors came to
then if somebody had COVID, they had to shut down everything.
Right.
And everybody had to go in quarantine, all that crap.
Yeah.
Because the theaters were so cautious. Yeah. And if somebody had COVID, they'd had to shut down production. They couldn't film, and that's costing money. And he's a producer on that, right?
Right.
So that's costing Tom money. So Tom's pissed off. So,
but as far as the part 1 and part 2, I think when they marketed it for Blu-ray release, and I think here they omitted the part 1 part.
Yeah, they recently retitled it to get rid of that.
So, and the next one, I'm like, because it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the next one's got to be coming out later this year, right? No, it's not coming out till 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to be.
They're reworking it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely reworking it.
But it was a good movie. It was, as opposed to some of the previous ones, the plot was fairly easy to follow. It wasn't too convoluted.
Yeah.
You kind of knew what's
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was.
I like the hunt for Red October at the beginning. The ship.
Yeah, so did I. That was good.
Pretty cool. That was a really cool scene. So
they did a transition of I think like they did in Hunt for Red October, where they're speaking in Russian and then it's subtitled, and they sort of move over towards English, and it reminded me of that scene from Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country where they're during the courtroom scene where they're speaking in Klingon, and they sort of transition into English. But it's implied that they're still speaking Klingon. So I like that. That was good.
Yeah. See, that's my favorite Star Trek movie of all time is Undiscovered Country. I mean, that one's the perfect goodbye for that crew.
I agree 100%. It's one of my favorite movies too.
And next gen didn't get that until this year, but it was great to see they got a perfect goodbye, because we had Nemesis in the theater, and Nemesis was not the greatest.
My favorite is Star Trek Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Yeah.
You bring it in Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
That's right.
He's doing crossovers.
That's right. When that talking rat gets on board, man, it's great.
I would love to see some of the crossovers that's in Daniel's head.
Oh yeah,
That'd be great.
What are the guys that have like a Bigfoot and they hop or whatever?
Oh yeah. I don't.
You know what I'm talking
names.
about?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of it goes kind of crazy when you read those books. So
Yeah.
That's a good book series.
Does sound like it fits, all right? Star Trek: Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I mean,
I like it. I like it.
Speaking of that, was it the Barbie director?
Oh yeah, Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, she's directing that for Netflix.
The
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. She's making Netflix.
Okay.
And she got robbed this week in the Oscar Dawn.
Oh, absolutely
got nominated.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie got robbed too. So
yeah, they did great.
The star and the director, I think, got snubbed. So because that was the biggest movie last year was Barbie. So
right.
Which is funny because nobody banked on that. Nobody guessed that Barbie would be
no.
I watched it. I gave it a C+.
Oh, okay.
I liked it in some parts, but there's some preachiness, you know.
I mean, there was obviously a message it was trying to deliver that I got it, and I was okay with it. You know?
I did think it was funny, the memes that like the fact that Margot Robbie didn't get nominated, but Ken did was the point of the Barbie
patriarchy.
movie.
Yes, the patriarchy won.
They're not wrong, you know.
No, they're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
But you watch that movie, it's like he's gonna get nominated. Like he's too good at it. Like he stole the show in the movie. Like every time he was on screen, you wanted to see what Ken's doing. You know.
Yeah.
Dojo Mojo House or whatever he lived in.
they make like welcome mats that say "Welcome to my Dojo Mojo Casa House."
Nice.
I've thought about getting one. Just
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
great
all right.
Movie. That was a 10. So
thanks, Chazbiz. Anything else you want to bring up?
That's all for right now. I mean,
okay.
I'm just hoping that they can get a movie together, get a cast together, get a director, make it.
Hopefully.
It'd be great to be able to go to the theater again and watch a Star Trek movie.
That'd be fantastic.
You know.
Don't do a prequel, guys. Go forward. That's all I ask.
Yes.
Quit doing prequels.
From your mouth to God's ears. That's what I've been saying all along too. We don't want to know what happened. We want to know what happens next.
To paraphrase, what does God need with a prequel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like we're done with those. Let's go forward.
Exactly.
Let's see what happened after Picard. We don't need the Michael Burnham timeline and Discovery.
Dude, if they made Star Trek Legacy the movies, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Have something fun.
Yeah.
Do it.
Or a different crew or something. You know.
Just
and if they make the story good, you don't have to have all the background. You know, whatever. I mean, J.J. Abrams proved that in 2009 and Star Trek Beyond. You can just go and enjoy a good movie. You know, if you go and see a movie with 7 of 9 and all those characters, you don't have to know their background if you make the story good.
Right. Right.
So do that and
because you watch Star Trek 09, like you see the cast and characters. Like really, I didn't complain about any character on there.
No, not at all.
Bones played Bones great. I thought Pine did great with Kirk and
and what they did, I think what they did a good job is the characters that should have been emulated were emulated well, and the characters that should not have been emulated or copied, they also did a good job. Like Spock and McCoy did a fairly good job of sort of replicating that charm that their characters had, and Chris Pine, to his credit, did a good job of not doing that with Kirk.
Yeah, he was very adamant that he was going to play Kirk, not an imitation of William Shatner.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And he ate the apple perfectly.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
But you won't have that problem if you don't make any more prequels.
That's true.
Something new and original and fresh and in the timeline that every single Star Trek fan wants, which is in the next gen.
As long as they keep Jar Jar out of it. So
yes.
Well,
Jar
the
Jar
problem is you have a guy connected to Jar Jar right now running the ship. So with Kurtzman, because
how's he connected to Jar Jar?
He's the one that wrote the movie, like Alex Kurtzman, Jar Jar.
No,
so
it
Robert
was Lucas.
Orci. It was Robert Orci. It was a Kurtzman. All them. Let's see.
You're thinking JJ, not Jar Jar.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jar Jar, J.J. Abrams.
No, I was joking about the prequels.
Oh well, some people call him. Some people call him Jar Jar Abrams. I've heard him call him.
Oh, I've not heard that. That's funny.
Call him, because they're so pissed off at Star Wars. They call him Jar Jar Abrams now.
Yeah, we brought it back. We brought it back.
Yes,
right.
See how it connects.
Okay. I see. I see. I did not know that. Okay. I just bear trap my way right into that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm just sitting here going, "Oh yeah, just agreeing like an idiot." Oh sure, yeah. Jar Jar was in Star Trek. Oh yeah, I see the connection.
Yeah. He was a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Because they call it. I've heard people call him Jar Jar Abrams because they're so mad at him. And it's like,
I've heard that. Yeah. Now that you say that, yes, I have heard that. Yeah.
Because he was the Spielberg prodigy pretty much, and then after he left Star Trek fans are kind of angry, but he made up for it for making a good Star Wars movie with Force Awakens. Then he makes Rise of Skywalker, and everybody's like, ugh. Yeah. And he's been in director jail since then because he has nothing really in production. So,
well, he's had stuff. He just hasn't gotten over the finish line with it. Like he's had to work on some stuff for Warner Brothers, but it just hasn't finished. So,
which is weird. I think they paid him like $250 million to come up with like some new series.
Yeah, he proposed some sci-fi show that was like $300 million, and they were like, "No, we're not doing that."
Yes. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And they had already spent like close to like $50 million on it, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then
it was insane.
It.
And then they scrapped it. Yeah. So
all right, that's the same. Production in Hollywood has gotten out of control, and I think that's what.
They need to learn to cut costs.
Are seeing right now is like you guys need to rein it in and release production smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have you guys seen Godzilla -1 yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Great movie. Was it 13 guys did the CG on that for Godzilla?
Something like that. Yeah.
They got nominated. 13 guys.
Yeah.
You look at all the guys that do a Marvel movie and it's pages long.
Yeah.
Of CG artists in different studios. And it shows you that you can have a smaller budget, make a great movie if you have a great script.
The movie The Creator was like that too. Like it was like I think 90 million and fantastic visual effects. Amazing.
Yes, and deservingly so. They should get the nom because you look at the special effects of The Creator. That movie looked like, I don't know, almost like Blade Runner in a way.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
Really cool. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jasmine, thanks for being on. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
All right. There's no other feedback, so I think that's good. So yeah, it's a good link for a supplemental. So,
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
We'll be back next week.
I just wanted to say, thanks for the feedback. Keep, if you want to be part of the show, send us a voicemail. Can you bring the number up?
I'm getting it right now.
Okay. Just call 570 661 0001.
Yeah. We kept going over each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Send us an email at trekcasttng@gmail.com. For those of you looking into your camera or into your cell phones right now, I'm wearing a Trekcast t-shirt. We have a merch section at trekcast.com. Just click on where it says store, I think.
Yeah.
Or shop. And
something like that.
Grab yourself some Trekcast merch. It's a great way to support the show. I can't speak for me, but I know Daniel works really hard to get the show together and do stuff.
I got some new shirt designs I need to throw up there that I have not yet. But
okay. I just bought a Trekcast patch for my motorcycle
there you
pass,
go.
so I'm looking forward to getting that on there. So, And as always, the all the social media stuff. Get involved in the Facebook group and the Instagram and all that stuff.
All of it. We're like 100 away from 10,000 on Instagram, so
that's awesome. And that's a good way you can support the show without spending a dime. Is go on, subscribe to us on YouTube, X,
all of
TikTok, all of them. Instagram. Do that.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, give it a thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm to get it out there to more people. So
absolutely, and we have a Ko-Fi account. So
yeah, Coffee account for sure. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. How do you pronounce that? Is it Ko-Fi, coffee?
Coffee.
I've heard it pronounced coffee. And how do you spell it?
KO-FI.
Okay. So if you want to support the show, go to KO-FI /Trekcast/Trekcast.com.
Yeah.
And give us a couple of shekels, and it'll motivate Daniel to keep doing what he's doing, and
And I am working on something. As soon as it's ready to announce, I will announce it. But I'm working on something else too. So
some secret stuff.
Indeed.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Take care.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?